Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have one of these diamonds in the rough, who's really one of the top small school corners that you can see this upcoming season. His name is Waxter II. He is a corner out of Villanova. Nice to have you on, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to be on.
So yeah, I mean obviously you're on a lot of these preseason scouting lists. I think a lot of people already know who you are, but this is the purpose of this interview is to get to know you some more. And dude, what we have seen on our end, just scouting you alone, obviously we've got a big guy at corner who's a solid press corner who's getting a lot of love from scouts. So but before we get talking about anything else, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I'm Waxter II. From Newark, New Jersey. I went to high school in Montclair, New Jersey, Immaculate Conception High, and I'm a going to be a 6 year rising for Villanova this year.
6 years. So you've been there through thick and thin, dude. Um,
Yeah,
but wanted to go ahead and recap some of the things you said. Immaculate Conception High School, Montclair, New Jersey. And dude, even in your going back to your high school days, you were a standout player, not just as a football player, but also as a track and field athlete. I have that in my notes. What do you remember most about your high school days, man? Can you give me a little tidbit of information back then?
yeah, definitely. So high school is actually kind of flipped growing up for me. I've always ran track. I've always played football also, but I've always been really good at track, not just sprints, but I was a jumper. So I did triple jump, long jump. I was a hurdler also. So I took real pride in my track career as well as my football career, but Immaculate Conception wasn't typically known for football. So me coming out of Immaculate Conception actually led to like great pride and like being able to say I came out of my school. We currently don't have a football program there anymore. Actually, it got discontinued. So I take pride in being one of the last people. Say like I was one of the first people to make it out of my school and things like that. And sports in general were just great there. I often trained alone for track. I would train with my personal trainer, Kerry Bethel, who was a All Olympic hurdler. So he really taught me the things that I needed to know for life as far as sports, well, work ethic, and things of the sort. And in football, I was able to meet my coach Brian Walker. So his Instagram and social media handle is D-backs Academy. He trains a lot of NFL cornerbacks, DBs such as Jabril Peppers. He's worked with Darius Slay, Xavier McKinney, a lot of Giants players. I've met Darnay Holmes through him. So he's really taken me under the wing and not only been more of a coach, but also a mentor for me. So I really rely on Coach Brian Jones.
Nice. So, coming out of Immaculate Conception, obviously you ended up at Villanova, but talk about that whole recruiting process and what ultimately led you to signing with Villanova.
Yeah, all right. So definitely, as I spoke about my high school, my film. I only played against maybe one Division I player my entire time in high school, other than like me being on my team. So coming out of high school, a bunch of teams, a bunch of the bigger Power Five schools were telling me they couldn't take me based off film just because my film wasn't promising enough. And also, I played more offense than I did in high school than defense. I really wasn't much of a defensive player until I got to college. And I got converted over actually to cornerback. Like that became my position that I was recruited by at a Rutgers camp that had a bunch of FCS coaches and everybody liked me more at DB than they did receiver. So that's really how I led to playing DB. But as far as Villanova, it was pretty quiet for me. I mean, I think I believe I had 7 offers, all in the CAA, other than Fordham, which was another school I was heavily considering. But being a Jersey boy, I was just always waiting on that Rutgers offer. And after the day before the first signing day, I was told to wait one more day. So after that, I just pulled the trigger and I'm like, I'm gonna go somewhere that I felt like really wants me to be there, which was Villanova. So I ended up going to Villanova.
Well, I mean, Villanova still, I guess, in relative proximity to you guys. So, I mean, not too far away from home. I mean, again, Nova in like the Philly area, so like still kind of home in some regard. You know what I mean? So hopefully, whenever your family comes and visits and watches you play, like it's not too far of a drive. So, um, cool. So, obviously he was at Villanova, and I think about Villanova because I've been following it for several years. A few years back, we actually had Christian Benford at the Hula Bowl, and just wanted to see if perhaps you have any insight, maybe any stories about how maybe he, I don't know, his influence on you as you were part of that secondary.
Yeah, so Christian Benford obviously came out a little bit before I did, but so my freshman year he was a sophomore, so he was always 1 year older than I was, and it was crazy because he was like a teammate, but also like a big brother. So when I started playing early and stuff, he was the first one to help me keep my head up, things like that. That's somebody I worked out with. I was just on the phone maybe last week, like on FaceTime when I'm just talking about anything. So me and CB are still really close. He showed me the way. He's given me the faith to like, no matter where school you come from, I still have a chance and I still belong to play with everybody because like, we are just as good in my eyes as he's shown. So I would say that's the influence he's left on us. He's not even just left it on me, but us as a program still
Sure.
just talk about QB as a person, how hardworking he was, how much he kept his head down and was dedicated to his craft.
I mean, it's certainly a player who meant a lot to the program that has gone on to the pros and done great things. But let's focus more on you, Ice. I mean, obviously, we're looking at you as a prospect here soon, going into his last season, in hopes of maybe being the next Christian Benford, who gets drafted. Describe your game a little bit, man. I mean, talk about y'all's defense and your role and what you bring to the table.
Okay, so last year we played a little bit of a different defense than we really have in the past because we were blessed to have like a ton of great DBs that all started for us. We could all play man coverage. So really what we were was we were just left on islands for the majority of the game and we just focused on the box. So we were really good at stopping the run. All the guys could cover in space. We got our slot corner, Ty Trent, who won all conference, Devon Marshall, who transferred to NC State. So it's like we just had extreme Jalen Goodman, who's been here for a ton of years. Like we just had extremely talented and mature secondary. So that was our scheme really. And then as far as me, my game, I like to consider my best attribute. Like I got size and length, stuff like that, which is like the measurables you can see. But I like to consider myself an extreme competitor. So for me, that's just meaning like no matter who I'm going against, no matter what the idea is, like the situation is, I feel like I'm a person that I think can rise to the top just because I love competing so much.
Nice. Yeah. As you had mentioned, and obviously size is one thing that does help. What's your current height weight these days, if you don't mind sharing?
6'2", around 210, 215, around 205. So I just fluctuate around there during the off season. Try to find what I think will be best for me next season to play at. I'll probably go into next season around 210, 208 around there, 6'2", 210.
Gotcha. When I look at a guy that's that size, and I mean no disrespect, but I think a lot of people may actually want you to uh, be in a position like a safety almost with that size. I mean, a guy that's going to be playing, in the box. Although, dude, almost all of your snaps have been at wide, at wide corner. How do you see yourself transitioning, from your collegiate days to the pros?
Yeah, just being real humble and being willing to learn anything. I feel like in our defense, we're actually know a lot. We're not actually just know our position. We're actually know all five positions in the secondary, so we know where our help is. We know what leverages to play and things of the sorts. So I just feel like wherever I go, just learning. You know what I mean? Or wherever I am in the secondary, no matter if I'm outside corner, nickel, free safety, strong safety, wherever it is, I'll just go there. Try to use my IQ, my body and all of my attributes to like conquer whatever I need to conquer.
Cool. And Villanova football has been fairly steady these past few seasons. I mean, really some good talent there and winning some good games. You guys went 10-3 last year. Had a run in the playoffs, which obviously everybody hits that juggernaut that ultimately does go on to win the whole damn thing. Uh, how are you guys going to get back there and maybe even see yourself in that national title game?
I mean, so for us, really, this all season, all we've been talking about is just doing what we've been doing. So we've been very steady. it's going to take a little bit more to get over that hump, but it's just doing what we've been doing. Like right now, it's going to be guys that need to step up. And at our program, we don't see ourselves as like ever going through a rebuild or anything like that. So we just expect guys to be able to step up because our team was so deep last year that there were guys that could have been playing on rosters inside our league, like playoff rosters inside our league that didn't get a
Mhm.
chance to play. So it's just allowing those guys to take their steps, and then the older guys, because we still do have a very mature team, the older guys who's leading the way and make sure nobody's left behind. So it's just demanding the standard of Chapter Rock, which is Villanova thing. TTR, you always see when somebody posts about Villanova, but that just keeps happening, keep persevering. So that's something we want to do. Just stay consistent because you never know where your consistency gets you over the hump.
Yeah, and you guys are fairly balanced, like when you look at the talent on defense, with obviously you're playing on, but also on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, got yourself a good leader there at quarterback who's doing some great things. So I mean, definitely a lot to look forward to for Villanova ball this upcoming season. I know that being your last season, of course, but you have had a lot of good games, a lot of good moments. So go ahead and share one of your favorites so far. Obviously you've been at the program for a few years now. So I mean, take me to one of those games, one of those moments which are just maybe a great memory for you.
Uh, so okay if I give you a couple, like just a
That,
couple small ones, maybe two
go
or
for
three.
it,
So
man.
number one definitely has to be our 2021 season beating JMU. So my first ever college start was versus JMU in 2019, which was like a week three game. So you could tell I was like going through it as a true freshman before the game. But I just felt so confident leaving the game, but not being able to beat them, but being in an environment as nice as JMU, like playing at their stadium, going wild, streamers. It was just so nice to beat them guys with my brothers and stuff like that on that run. And then probably this year was big for me because I missed the year prior. So being able to play this year was huge, but I got to go out with all the guys in my class that came back for their last years and got that phenomenal season. Delaware was a huge game for us because that's our rivalry battle with the Blue, and it's the last year that they were truly in the FCS. It was a really good game because we were playing for a ring. We were playing for the CAA championship, two ranked teams, number six against whatever we were. We were like some like eight or something like that. So it was a very highly anticipated game. And then I would say even though we didn't win, South Dakota State was a great game for me because I think I've always known because I played them twice and I've started both times against them when we played them in the playoffs. But just the second game, seeing how much I feel like we're right there. Like it's a couple plays in that game. We lose by 11. They beat everybody else by combined like 100 points or something like that. And it's like we're right there. So it's like that gave me confidence to give to my team or just help my team have confidence to know going into next season, like it's not far off. It's right here for us. So that's probably one of the best moments of the season, also.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have championships like within your grasp. It's certainly something that you guys can obtain. And you've had a lot of exciting games, and of course, one more season to go for you. And here's hoping you come out of it with a championship, man. I mean, I think that you definitely have some guys on that roster who are great athletes. NFL prospects like yourself who have the ability to be game changers. So um, I do want to take a moment to meet the guy under the helmet. See if there's anything else about you that we need to know. Anything that really that you want to share, whether it be your hobbies, interests, passions, whatever it is about yourself, man, that you want to share. I want to give you the opportunity to go for it. So give me something.
Definitely. I would say hobbies, which might sound like a little cliche, especially to a football player, but sports in general, but definitely football. Like football in the sense of not even like not working out, anything like that. Like I genuinely like love the game of football. Like when I'm bored, I'll watch like I know all the like five-star recruits in high school. Like I really pay attention to that type of stuff. When I play the game, I play Madden. I always play a football game. When I'm sitting down, I'm watching some football, I'm watching old games, or I'm just studying. So for me, it's more of like it's like a craft in a sense, especially like DB and receiver, like just looking at how like talented guys are at our level, higher and even in the league, just seeing like the way some of them think, some of them move, or getting to work out with those guys. Like that's like a true hobby for me. Like that's like my passion. Like that's what I like to do on my free time. All me and my teammates talk is football. We argue about it all day. So it's just stuff like that. Like I really enjoy that. The other than that, I just really like downtime, like just getting away from everything. Just chilling out, maybe just rest. Like I enjoy resting. Like when I'm not playing football, when I'm not locked to a game, like I'm really just cooling out. I'm a pretty mellow guy.
Okay. Well, I do want to, I don't know, maybe see if I can get a little bit more out of you before we call it quits on this interview. So, growing up in New Jersey, man, I mean, who are you a big fan of growing up? Is there like a particular guy in the league that is even still there or something? Who are you a big fan of?
Oh yeah, everybody from Jersey probably should or would have the same answer. It's Jabril Peppers. He's Mr. New Jersey when it comes to football. You know, 5 star, track star. Like he literally lived the life I wanted to live growing up. He was just so good at football, really good at track, real talented dude. Went to Michigan, played almost every position. You know, offense and defense. Like we've always admired him, and I'm happy I got the chance to work out with him and just really learn from him or study from him, like the way he carries himself. Although he plays safety, just hearing the ways he talks about the game was something that made it even better. They usually say don't meet your heroes, but it made the world to me. It's like getting to meet him and stuff like that. So I would definitely say Jabril Peppers as far as it goes for Jersey.
Well, I mean, it sounds as if you've already met a lot of those, you know, heroes, so to speak. You know, a lot of great talent that's in the NFL right now. Like, you got a whole bunch of them in your Rolodex right now, man. You could pull out the phone and call a bunch of them, really, that are really star players at the next level. So, a couple more quick questions. So, maybe like a quick question answer period, real quick. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a good one. I might I might have to go with Wolf of Wall Street. That's an all-time classic for me. That's a real good movie to me. Go watch that
Gotcha.
anytime.
Favorite snack food?
Favorite snack food? Jolly Ranchers. I can eat a Jolly Rancher every second of the day. Probably, yeah, it gotta be Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers. Okay. Let's see. You're in the locker room and you got your earbuds in, you're listening to something, maybe, I don't know. Some people like to listen to a little bit of everything. Like what's in your head, man? Like what are you listening to as you get yourself prep for a game?
This is crazy, but probably so there's this thing called Jersey club music. So basically it's just people from Jersey, but it's like more of an upbeat type of music. It's music you dance to. So I usually like to listen to that, stay pretty free, stay pretty like have fun with it right before the game.
Gotcha. And I don't know if you've ever really thought about this, but like, as you make your way to the NFL, you're gonna be able to be an influencer. Like, I don't know if you've thought about like, any anything that you can, put your efforts into like a, charity or cause. But have you thought about those things yet? I mean, is that something that you've taken some time to look into?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, so for right now, even already on campus, I mean, I volunteer a couple times a year, just going down either Radnor Middle School or I've been to my middle school a couple times. I've led seminars and assemblies for my middle school also. So definitely just finding ways. I don't know exactly how, but definitely just finding ways to touch youth in the sense that like it's not a one-time meet and go. Like it's like really a relationship I could build or like maybe a foundation I could build. Like with the players on my team or just other athletes and stuff, being able to really talk to them and give them hope and not just sell them short on like meeting them one time and saying you could do it if you put your mind to it, but actually helping them put their mind to it. So I would say definitely something like that would be up my alley.
Cool. And hopefully we can bring some football back to the Immaculate Conception High School. I don't know
Yeah,
how that would work, but I mean, like,
we do need that. Yeah, we do need that.
that's something that we need to strive for, because we definitely need, more teams out there. Um, Ice, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Obviously, you got one more season left to go. You have all scouts' eyes on you. What's the one thing you got to tell them to look forward to this year? What separates you, and why you would make maybe the next guy who's going to get drafted out of Villanova? Why should they do that? So, hit them with your pitch.
Just really, I mean, I alluded to it before, but just being a competitor, I don't think that's something that's taught. I think you either are a competitor or you aren't. There's a lot of good players everywhere, but not everybody can compete. Sometimes the competitor is going to get the best of the better players. So I think that's one thing that I can say for myself that I really thrive on, and I really make plays in the big moments, like Youngstown State, game sealing picks, South Dakota State, no catches allowed, PBU on our first third down, TFL. So just things like that, just like not shying away from the moment, but embracing it because that's what I want, because that's what we work out for. And then as far as the Villanova guys, we're not only good football players, we're good people, you know. So that's something that I think is huge. Just being a good person, not a good person in the sense of staying out of trouble, but a good person. Like he's a good person. Like he'll go out, he'll try to make the community better, he'll make his teammates better. He's not going to be a nuisance in the locker room. As you can see with the guys on our team now, we have Nick Torres, Jalen Jackson, Jaron Hick, who all just got picked up. Jaron was a rookie mini camp invite. You don't make that team without being a great person, you know. And these guys still come back now, like they're working out right now with our strength coach. So it's like I think that says a lot. CB has been back a bunch. Like that says a lot about this program and how tight knit we are. We don't lose a lot of players to the portal. Like that shows guys want to be here. They want to play for Coach Mark Ferrante. So I would say Villanova players will be like dependable, you know, good guys.
Well, definitely a great program and a lot to look forward to this upcoming season. I just want to wish you all the best and you take care, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. Once again, we have ISIS Waxter II. He's a cornerback out of Villanova. Check him out this season.